Good morning. It's not morning, it's afternoon already. I've been uploading the last video. I don't know if you saw it already, and I'm sure I'm going to get crap for the bandana, but I was dumb. Didn't wear a hat or a bandana yesterday, and the top of my head is completely burnt. And those hats that I have are so freaking hot, I figured I'm going to try this to see if it can keep the sweat out of my eyes and the sun off my head. So today, it's all about the log cabin, or the next few days, I should say. So this horrible leaning tree, I'm going to try to make it fell away from my woodshed and see what I can get done there. I've already peeled a couple of logs this morning, and they're just about ready to start stacking. So we're going to work hard today. That's all we're going to work on, our logs and the log cabin. So let's get started, make this big thing fall. I'm going to move the camera away from where it currently is, because who knows, this thing could fall this way, it could fall that way, it could fall that way. I don't know. We're just going to do the best we can, and again, have a video all about the log cabin today. God, I hope this goes well. I'm going to actually try to fell it that way. I've got the rope going that way, so I'm going to try to use the angle, and I'm going to try to use the rope to direct it where I want it to go. Oh boy. That is ridiculously tight. Let's see, man. Come on, baby. Fall the right way. Didn't go exactly the direction I wanted it to, but it fell away from everything I needed it to. All right, one down, one to go. So here's where we're at for the day so far. You can see I dropped that tree right over there and got it limbed. I have peeled those two logs right there, and then this is the one that I also did. Look at how crooked it is, just bows on me. But now I got this whole mess to clean up. I got to go through and take all of this and get it cleared out of here. And I'm just going to continue to build that pile over there. There you can see a couple of the big logs that I've gotten already peeled. And then I've got a bunch of wood over here, or I'm sorry, limbs that I got to get put away as well. So my goal now for the rest of the day is just to clean all this up and get a good working area. Cut these 2 logs to the appropriate length that I can use them. I'm not sure about this one because of the curve. And then I'm also going to clean up and put away all of my equipment that's in my little storage shed. So I'll show you what it looks like at the end of the day, and we'll get ready to go again tomorrow. Well, it's afternoon in Colorado, so that means rain. It's pretty dark out there to the west, so we'll have to see how hard this comes down. But there's been a lot of lightning and thunder leading up to this, so I guess it's time to call it a day. Well, this is fun. Raining with the sun shining. I'm betting on the other side of the house there is a rainbow. I'm gonna go check. So the end of a very hard day and a nice walk, but wow, look at Pikes Peak tonight. Unbelievable how beautiful it is out here. Good night, everyone. Well, good morning. Couple of friends right outside the window. It's always fun to see wildlife when you're out here. Well, good morning. Again, I said that with the deer that were walking by a few minutes ago, but man, last night, what a night. We got a bunch of rain, and I'll put on a video of the lightning right now so you can see how dramatic it was, but it kept me up all night, so check this out. So for today, I started out with a great breakfast, but this is my work area for the day. I'm gonna work on cutting these 2 trees that I took down yesterday into the appropriate lengths, if they're even usable. Then I will maybe do a little peeling, but I've got to get this one off the top of my log pile so I can start bringing them over, because I got to get started right away this morning before it gets too hot. And that's what's been happening here in the afternoon. It's been getting hot. We're expecting more thunderstorms, so I got to get it done. Long sleeves because I got in last night and I just had welts of something biting me, and we don't have mosquitoes up here, so I'm not exactly sure what it was. So I want to work while it's cool out with a shirt on so I don't get bitten to death. I also wear, if you haven't noticed, I wear gaiters, and the reason I do, it's to keep sawdust and dirt from getting down inside my shoes and things. We do have rattlesnakes up here. These are not rattlesnake gaiters, but I still like to have them on. It would give a little bit more protection. And so, yeah, that's kind of what's going on. So we'll get to work here and see if we can't get that first run of logs in before noon today. So let's go. Well, this is the first log I want to take care of because it's sitting on my other log pile. So I got to get this cut. I just don't know if it's going to be straight enough to do that. So let's go right down the middle here. See what 12 feet looks like. 12 feet is right here, and it's relatively straight all the way up to here. So this will be a good one for my ends, because if you remember, I'm building this cabin 10 feet by 12 feet, and that requires 12-foot by 14-foot logs. So that's why you constantly hear me talking about 12-footers, 14-footers. So this is going to be a good log, and it's wet, so it might be easy to peel this morning as well. So let's get these cut up and off there. That other one, I don't think I'm going to get anything out of it, but we'll take a look. All right, let's do this. Gonna cut it right on this knot so I know exactly where I'm going, just on the inside of it. This will be one of those top bottom cuts because the way it's wedged up here. So let's get this thing done. not expected, but hey, I'll take it. And this, haha, I can roll it right up these logs now. Stay. It's a nice log. All right, let's get it limbed, and we'll get it up here, and let's get this thing peeled so I can use it right away today. Whew. Started to move these around. These 11-inch diameter logs, 14 feet long, not easy. So I'm gonna get this first one put here. Then I've got another 14-footer ready to go right there, and I'll have my first two sides done. But you got to remember to alternate your big ends. So I'm gonna have a big end on this side, small end down on that corner, which means big end here, small end here. But then when I put my 12-footers on, since this will be a small end down here, we're going to use then the big end of the 12-footer to the small end over there. It's your way of keeping it level. So you got, you know, higher, lower, and eventually it'll come out nice, I hope. Let's get this in place. Got about 1.5 feet out the end here. Not quite as much on this side, so I might actually. So I'm also putting these tree wedges on the downhill side. It should be level, but I just as soon not have it take off rolling down the hill. You can also see I'm going to have to do some more work with the chainsaw. There's a lot of places where branches came out, stems and stuff, so I'm going to have to make this top a lot smoother than it is if I plan on having logs with. I want to keep my gaps maybe under 1 inch to 1/2 inch, so there isn't quite as much chinking to do. So yay for me. I'm going to peel that other one before I set the next one, and I can finally take down my strings because everything's level and good. Let's keep her going. It's starting to get warm and I'm getting soaking wet in my feet, but I'm going to get this next 14-footer placed. Because that is about 1 inch bigger in diameter, the far one, than this one I'm going to put here. I'm going to actually block this corner because this corner was a bit low anyway, so I want to make sure that we get it close, but I'll make up the differences. Any irregularities or the fact that it's not level, I will make up with different diameter logs to make one side taller than the other, so when we get to the top, where the sill plate, or not the sill plate, the top of the walls will be level from side to side. So let's get this other one in position. Doesn't look level, does it? It is. All right. Some of those big boys are going to be tough to get on here, but we're going to try to get it done. So I've had to improvise on the peeling because a draw knife can't get through this. This is why. Look at the thickness of this. I mean, it's close to 2 inches thick, and it just won't peel with a draw knife. So back to my Minnesota days, where I'm from. This is an ice chipper, and it works awfully darn well to get bark off these things. And you can come down then on the side, and it peels. Well, my peeling works just fine. So now let's try to get this on top of here so we can start measuring and cutting some notches. Nope. You know what I did wrong already? I got fat on fat, and I gotta have fat on skinny. All right, we're gonna pause. We all make mistakes, I guess. But I caught it before I had it notched. Wow. You know what we're gonna do? Hold tight. I'm gonna measure level. Oh, just a tad bit high on that side, but I can notch that out a little bit lower when I do my saddle notch. I mean, it's that much off. Almost not worth mentioning. So, whew, happy where we're at right now. It's for damn sure. So this is the biggest log of all of them, hands down. And there's no way. I'm gonna try to get it right into position right here using the four-wheeler. Then I should be able to just heave-ho it up onto there. So we'll give it a try. Well, we're close, and the four-wheeler did its job for now. Invaluable. Oh, shit. I don't know, man. That's a lot of freaking log to be lifting. This one's over 12 inches in diameter. So let's see if we can do this. Not like that. Ah, shit. I'm going to take it up in steps. I know I can lift it that high, so we'll get it onto that log, and I'll be able to get underneath it a little bit easier. Ah. Probably won't be able to stand up tonight from a blown back, but you know what? Got the shit up there. Yes. Now, just have to do all my saddle cuts. And first round is done. Man, that's hard work. All right, I got to show you this. almost perfectly level. And I haven't even done anything yet to it, so, oh my goodness. I'm gonna go take a break. I need a Gatorade. Incidentally, if you guys are wondering, so I don't think I've had this asked yet, but to put things in perspective on this whole thing, from a size standpoint, I'm 6'2", about 185 pounds, so I'm not a small dude. And you can see how big these logs are that I'm dealing with. So we'll get this thing up one way or another. And using the stair step method, I think, is going to be perfect for me to be able to get these big ones up as I need to. All right, now I got to start taking some of these nubs off of here, so I have a nice flat place for the next log to go on. But also there's some right underneath where my saddle notches are going to go, and I want to get those cleaned up too. So much better. Had a granola bar and a Gatorade, and I just have a Tang sitting over here. Remember the astronaut drink? I love Tang, so I keep that around. But I'm gonna change my blade, or my chain on the saw, put a brand new one on, because I wanna make sure that when I'm cutting these notches, I can really make them nice and smooth. And this chain I have been using forever. I bet I sharpened it 15 times, so it's time to get rid of it, put a new one on. So let's do that. Oh, how pretty is that? God, there's nothing like a new chain. Very excited to get this on. Now the scary part. I have to do my saddle cuts and saddle notches, and I don't want to screw them up because these are too hard logs to cut and get into place. So I've seen a couple of different ways of doing it, and I'm going to follow the one where you measure the overall height of the log. So in this case, this is at this end 10 inches, which means I'll cut down 5. So I could go here and I can mark 5 inches, which is right here. Then come to the sides where we're going to actually be putting this over, get it vertical like that, and then draw up a line. So here's where my line is going to be, and it's going to go to there. So I'm going to have to then attach these lines. So let's do it on this side as well. And I'm sure there are 100 different ways to make saddle cuts, but this is the way I'm going to do it because it seems about as easy as it gets. I got a little nub over here I got to shave off first, but yeah, I got to do this now on both sides, that and this side, and both sides of the log, and then I'll roll it over and I'll start cutting. Oh, scary. I'm gonna mark them out. I don't want to do this, but it's got to get done. So I know I have to, here is my deep center, so those might be my deepest. Once I have that, then I can actually kind of, I'll mark my edges, and then I can kind of draw a curve freehand and then start cutting even more. So let's get started. Now I just got to draw my curves here and here. Let's see how it fits. I got to get it a lot wider yet from where I currently have it, but I'd rather, you know, be a little more careful and do it twice than screw it up. So I'll go back to cutting it, see if we can make it. Not horrible for a first try, but you can see my chainsaw got away from me on the left side over here, and I've got too big of a gap there, but it dropped in nicely there the rest of the way. And then down here, this one is really nice. There's no gap on the other side. Again, I'm gonna have to continue to modify how I do this, but so far so good. We're gonna work on the back one, and when I get it done, I'll show you. And well, that's a much better looking saddle notch. I kind of am getting it figured out what I need to do here. So nice shape to it. We'll see if it fits now on the log. Well, there you go. I got this thing beautifully squared up, and that was better than this side, but everything is absolutely level. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna set my corners so I know going up from here, things aren't gonna slide and move on me. So I'm gonna drive one 10-inch spike right down the middle of these things, and should be enough to hold them. Oh, nothing like an 8-pound sledge. Okay, I'll go do the rest of them. Last one. Woo-hoo! There you go. The base is all completely set. Now it's just stack the walls. But that way I only have to use maybe 8 per side. So, oh boy, that's still a lot though. Hopefully I don't have to use 8 per side. Anyway, it's time for lunch and maybe a nap. There you go. I'm actually calling it a night. I cleaned up my work area. Got more logs ready to go for tomorrow, but I've got my next 4 already laid out. 2 on front and back, or 1 on front and back, 1 on either side. So tomorrow we'll get that second course put up, hopefully. And man, look up. What a beautiful night, huh? Look at those clouds. Sorry about the wind noise, but if you look real close on that ridge by those beautiful puffy clouds is a herd of elk. So today we started with deer, and now tonight we're ending with elk. So amazing out here, isn't it? Well, good morning. So it did this in the middle of the night last night to wake me up, and it's doing it again now. You would never think that we live in a super arid climate, would you, with the rain that's been happening the last, what, 3 or 4 straight days. This is weird though, because it's morning time and we normally don't get rain around here till later. So I guess we're going to be on hold on scribing and notching a couple of more logs. I want to get at least one more run done. And then tomorrow I'm probably going to go home. So I'm with my family on the 4th of July if they decide not to come up here. So we'll see what happens the rest of the day. And hopefully we can get some work done once this clears. But for now, I'm going to sit down, read, and have a nice cup of coffee. Well, the sun finally came out, and I've got my Tang, my astronaut drink. Kind of goes hand in hand, I think, with my prison Mike look from The Office. But I already spent some time this morning when it was raining getting my other chainsaw up and going and get smaller. It's only an 18-inch and it's a lot easier to handle, so I'm going to use that for my cuts today and sharpen the chain on that. Then I started to do, as you can see here, leveling a lot of these logs and taking off these different nubs that are everywhere. So we're ready to start doing the notching. You know, we've got to scribe them first, but I'm not gonna show that today. That'll just take too long. So when I'm done with these 4 logs and getting them up, I'll do kind of a finishing video, and that's gonna be it. Because I'm gonna have a relaxing evening tonight, get a good night's sleep, clean up tomorrow when I get up, and then head back for home to spend time with the family over the 4th of July. So I'll check back in a little while. Look at there, my notches are finally getting better. And I want to show you why and how I'm making them better. All right, here's what I'm doing. See these? Perfect curves. And so depending on the diameter of the log, 10-inch, 11-inch, and what I can do then is I can just lay them against the log and use them as a template to make a really nice curve. So I'm getting closer and closer. I'm just doing the vertical cuts right to the line. Then I'm knocking those pieces out, and I'm using a hatchet and getting a good, clean, rough, the bugs are unbelievable. Sheesh. I'm getting a good idea of how close I am to on. I roll it into place. I mark any places that I need to take a little more material out. And then I take the chainsaw and I smooth it out and get those extra pieces or that extra material taken out so it sits down nice and flush. So, man, it has been a lot of saddle cuts to get to this point, but I'm starting to feel better about it. And the trouble I'm having, these logs just aren't perfect. You know, it's not like a lodgepole pine that's tall and straight. These all have a little bit of a twist or a curve to them. So I'm just trying to do my best to make them match up. And so far, it's starting to look pretty good. I'll show you when I'm done here. Oh, well, there you go. 2 rounds done. And I got better and better with my notching as we went along. So that's it. I'm going to call it on the cabin for this weekend. And tomorrow is just going to be cleanup and getting out of here. Going to go back home unless I get a phone call from my family saying they're coming up to see me. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. It was a long one and a lot of work, and you're learning right along with me because I have no clue what I'm doing, and I'm just trying to put it together. So I guess you can't fail if you don't try, right? And I've already made mistakes that I've had to correct along the way. So I guess my point is just go out there and do it yourself.